Yo, what's up, guys? It's Young Devyn, and this is Advice on the Music Business with Artists in Motion.
What's up, everyone? It's your girl Tamara Ivy here from Ashley Stewart, and also WIACA, West Indian American Day Carnival Association. They bring you this new series that we call Artists in Motion. Today's segment is brought to you by WIACA, like I mentioned, and we have somebody special joining us today. But before we get into that, our team is at DNL Studios, definitely practicing social distancing at its best, and I'm working from home. But at the end of the day, we're making sure that our team is safe and we are following the CDC rules and guidelines. But now on to better things and more fun things. This young lady is from Brooklyn, New York, and I'm very intrigued by her background because she's from Brooklyn, but she's also a Trini girl, West Indian like me. And I'm loving the fact, I love her background. I love, her story is amazing. We're going to put her in. Her name is Young Devyn.
Woo.
Hi, girl. How you doing, beautiful?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Look at you. You're adorable. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm loving the locks, honey.
Thank you. Thank you.
So listen, Devyn, tell everybody, I know I said your name, but let everybody know your name and where exactly are you from?
Yeah, well, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. My family's from Trinidad. And that's basically how I got into music in general. My family being from Trinidad, I started singing soca music, and then it just transcended.
Wow. So, right now you're young, but you're getting ready you're in college now?
Yeah.
Wonderful. And you went to what high school?
Medgar Evers, yeah. Last year I graduated.
Yeah. What? Congratulations.
Thank you.
Goodness you didn't graduate in 2020.
Oh my gosh.
I know, but shout out to all of our class of 2020 people. We definitely hope you get, your virtual ceremony as you deserve.
Mm-hmm.
But Devyn, your story is amazing because I was listening to an interview where you were mentioning that you were in a hospital at the age of 2 years old for Kawasaki disease, which is now something that's triggering COVID-19 in the youth. Talk about that.
Yeah, when I was 2, I had Kawasaki disease. I was in the hospital for, I believe, 14 days. Could have been longer. And I was like a couple of hours away from dying. If my doctor didn't come and transfer me to her hospital, I literally would have died. So yeah, it was just like a second chance at life. So I always knew from then, like just hearing those stories, that like I had a purpose, because God didn't spare my life in such a close and trying moment for no reason. But yeah, my mom was just telling me about how the Kawasaki disease is definitely affecting a lot of kids who have it. So I would just say to just stay home, stay quarantined, wash your hands, be clean. Though you don't always gotta go out with your friends. Your friends is gonna be there. So yeah.
Yes. Now, the youth, if you guys are listening, listen to Young Devyn. She is of age. She's your peer, and she's giving you great advice. Stay at home. You don't have to go out with your friends, and wash your hands.
Yeah.
Right. You heard it here from Young Devyn. Now, you love Nicki Minaj, as I do. I love that girl so much. She represents us so well.
Yeah.
Now, talk about something amazing that happened with in your career with Nicki.
Yeah. Well, thus far, when I first started getting into rapping, Nicki, of course, was the person and the reason that I even decided to become a rapper. When she dropped her song called Barbie Tings and Chun-Li, everybody was doing remixes to, I believe it was Chun-Li. So I wanted to be different. So I did a remix to both, and I just meshed them together. It ended up going viral. She's seen it. She had liked my Instagram. I was dying that day. And then a year later, she had a Megatron challenge, and everybody was like, telling me to do it. I was in New Orleans for Essence Fest at the time, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it.
Great performance, by the way.
Thank you. And I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. And then, my fans just pressured me, and they were like, do it. And I did it. And then I came home. I went to sleep, woke up the next morning, and I was on her Instagram, and I was freaking out. I'm like, what the heck?
Yes, congratulations on going viral. That's a big deal.
Thank you.
Now, what genres of music do you like? Because today's young, your generation Z, you guys love trap music. We love that too. Talk about how you want to you know, you came out as a soca artist when you were a young girl. Everybody knows you in the soca scene in Brooklyn. We all know you. You've done so many amazing shows since you was a little girl. Talk about why you wanted to cross over.
I just always said from young that I wanted to do a more mainstream genre because I felt like it was crazy. I was going to school in the weekdays, and then on the weekends I was selling out shows overseas. It was really weird. So I just wanted to do something where I could be more mainstream but bring my culture in it. So I always said that, you know, I was young, so I have the time to go into a genre like hip hop, R&B, or pop and get big there, and then introduce the world to soca when I have that influence. I just never thought rapping would be what it would turn out to be, but I always said that from young that I was going to be the artist to make soca like mainstream. Right.
Well, now you mentioned that you wanted to cross over, but what artists in the past have inspired you to be who you are today?
Yeah, well, definitely, of course, lyrical. Lyrical is like my dad at this point. We have Marshall, of course. Marshall took me under his wing the first day that he met me. The first day I actually performed with Marshall was at Watica Brass Fest.
Yeah.
Was it 2010 or 2011? Yeah, that was my first time ever performing at Brass Fest, and it was with Marshall. That was the first night I ever met him. And I told him I was going to perform. Like, I didn't ask him. I was just like, I'm going to perform with you today. And he was like, okay. And ever since then, like, we've been super close. Of course, Nicki Minaj, Meek Mill, Lauryn Hill. Those are like, that's like young Devyn in a boiling pot. Yeah.
Young Devyn, you are amazing. I love your story. Now, talk about some other big moments in your career.
Yeah.
You were at Essence Fest last year. That's a big moment for us.
Yeah.
Big up to you, girl. You took Brooklyn to
Essence Fest. Yeah.
I've been there, but Essence Fest is a different thing.
Yeah, definitely. That was a big moment for me. I had a lot of big moments in soca. You know, like performing at my show Monday. That was really huge for me. But in hip hop, I'll probably say like, you know, going on Sway in the Morning. He's like a staple in hip hop, like one of the gatekeepers. Performing at the BET Hip Hop Awards Cypher. I was the youngest person to ever do the Cypher in BET history, so that was really dope.
Too.
Thank you. Yeah, definitely. I made sure I rep Trinidad and I put them in my rap. Definitely Nicki Minaj. She had retweeted another video of mine on her page. It's like her fans, they always bother her with me. I don't know why. And so like she always just sees my things like that. I think probably like the biggest thing though thus far, I recently just got signed, so that's like an exciting thing.
Woo! Go ahead, girl. Now, is it a secret, or are we allowed to know?
I mean, I can't say who I'm.
Are you gonna?
Yeah, I can't say who I'm allowed to. I'm not allowed to say who I'm signed to right now. It's gonna be like a reveal, but yeah, I could tell people that I'm signed, which is a really big thing for me.
Wonderful. Look, congratulations on that.
Thank you.
That's amazing. That's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
We are so excited. So now, what's next for your career outside of just getting signed? What's the next big thing where we can see you next?
Yeah, well, I'm working on a project that's hopefully is going to come out, I would say July. I'm super excited for that because this is like a long time coming. All my fans have been asking me to drop a body of work, but I've just always been very strategic with my music. I know the value and I know my worth, especially the music that I've been making, and I didn't just want to just throw it out there and hope it sticks. So I always just withheld music and just waited for the right situation. So now that that's occurred, now I could drop music the right way, gets the right proper backing, and you know it's gonna be big. So I'm excited.
Wonderful. So how do you right now, as we're practicing working from home, social distancing, how are you connecting with your friends?
Through social media. I think that's like the biggest tool that everybody should use and take advantage of.
Yeah, definitely.
Is definitely just social media. Don't get me wrong, I've been definitely laying low, just plotting, super busy was trying to figure out just this deal and everything. But now that it's done, I'm going to be back on social media, having fun, being goofy like they know me to be. Yeah, so it's going to be a really good time, and I hope that this quarantine does not last to the summer because I want to go out.
I know. So also, I was listening to the same story where you were 2 years old and you were in the hospital with the Kawasaki disease. But what was interesting was you were humming.
Yeah.
Talk about that.
Yeah, I was number one. I was like the biggest baby. there, and then the doctors and the nurses were saying that I was like humming every day, every night. So that's probably was like a pretense into what I would do, because I never thought I would do music ever. Like when I was younger, I never had any aspirations of like doing music. So that was probably God's way of like letting everybody know, like, yeah, no, she's gonna be something.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that is amazing. Okay, Devyn, so let's talk about something that is very important, because I know it's a big topic amongst a lot of artists about, what type of tools and Pro Tools and things like that. It's as far as the type of engineering you guys use today for your music and your vocals. Talk about the importance of learning engineering or learning these different type of instruments and what it does. Well, how does it enhance your area of expertise, which is being an artist?
Yeah, I definitely think it's very important. A lot of engineers, they're sometimes like really surprised when they see that I know a lot of the things that they're doing. It's just because, number one, being in the studio since I was 8, I'm a very observant person. Like, I'm quiet, but I'm observant. So I would just sit back in a room and I would just watch everything. So I used to do that a lot when I was younger. And then when I turned like 12, 13, I started recording myself in my room. So I just started replicating everything that I used to see being done in the studio to myself, and it just got better and better over the time. So when I started back recording at a professional studio, it was just like I already knew how I wanted my voice to sound, where I wanted it to go, the different effects. So it's really important because, you can't ever let anybody tell you how to sound. You have to know what you want.
Exactly.
An engineer can only do but so much for you. You have to have an idea of what you want to sound like. And so I think it makes the job 10 times easier, less time consuming when you really just sit down there and study your craft. And I feel like everybody should study every aspect of their craft. Like, just because you're not necessarily an engineer doesn't mean you shouldn't, study what's going on with your vocals. So yeah, that's definitely important.
And why, and being that you said studying your craft, that's definitely one of my mantras that I say all the time, that, if you want to be an artist or whatever it is that you want to do and you want to walk in that, you definitely should study your craft.
Yeah.
Especially for young people today, and the way the evolution of music and how it's evolved. Why is it important for the youth to understand, all these different instruments, and why is it important? Why do you think it's important? I
think it's just important just in a sense of like a business mindset. Just if you can't really be a boss until you know everything about your business,
Exactly.
I just feel like,
look at you, girl.
Yeah, it's like a queen, she can't run an empire. She doesn't know every part of her empire. You have to know everything that's going on. And so I think that's just very important. Like a lot of people, like, especially nowadays, a lot of people want to be rappers, but they don't really know the hard work and things that go into just being an artist in general. They think it's just you post a song, you blow up, and you're lit. But it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of sleepless nights. It's a lot of things that a lot of people are not cut out for. That's why people say all the time, many are called, few are chosen. It's those chosen ones that cut through the noise, because we really study our craft and we really go hard for what we do, and it's like a passion. It's not just a trend.
Right. Correct. Amazing. I loved it. I love the answer, and you definitely sound as if you know what you're doing, which is important. And we have to, we as women, we have to sound and know what we're doing. We cannot just go out into this field.
Yeah, we gotta go we gotta go twice as hard.
Dominating field.
Yeah.
So we have to not only be on their level,
but even more
engineering, production, and all these things. But we have to wear hair and makeup, exercise, be a great dancer, work 10 times harder, faster,
show personality,
and still be able to breathe and rap and dance maybe at the same time. How do you manage all of that?
I just try not to think about it too much. I just go with the flow. I do know that, especially when it comes to writing raps, it's like I would listen to like a verse on the radio of a guy, or I would like see somebody freestyle, like a male rapper freestyle, and everybody would be like, "Oh, this is fire." But in my head, I'm like, if a female said the same thing, I would be calling it trash. Like, so I know me personally, especially because I'm a child in an adult-dominated industry, and I'm a female in a male-dominated industry, I'm like at the bottom of the barrel. So it keeps me going though. I like being the underdog because it pushes me even harder, to push my pen, push my craft, because then in the end, I get the results that I get. So it just makes me go harder.
Yes. Well, congratulations on being a successful and smart businesswoman.
Thank you.
And I hear your mom is your manager.
Yeah, I have like, you know, my business managers, but my mom is definitely my personal momager.
That's good. I love it. Yes, we got to keep the family in the business, honey.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So tell everybody where we can find you, your social media, and go ahead.
Yes, you guys can find me on all social media platforms at Young Devyn, YOUNGDEVYN, Twitter, Young Devyn 1.
All right. Well, everyone, you heard it here first, Miss Young Devyn. Now, did you want to give us a little something to go out with? You want to spit some bars or something?
Of course. I'm going to give them some bars later. We got about to do exclusive studio footage, and they're going to get an exclusive freestyle from me, so it's going to be lit.
Oh, sick. I love it. Well, Young Devyn, you are a pleasure to speak to. I've been watching your career. You are so beautiful, and I knew you was going to grow up this lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time out to social distance, doing an interview with us with Riadka.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, everyone, for tuning in and watching Artists in Motion with Riadka.
Yes.
You're watching Riadka. Now joining us is the woman who raised this beautiful, lovely, young budding star, Natasha. I'm just going to call you Mom because that's respectful. How are you, beautiful?
I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us and raising such a young queen.
Thank you so much. I don't do it alone.
And you must be extremely proud.
I am extremely proud, ecstatic, you know, all the great things that a mom would want.
So talk about what that's like today in the new millennial, raising a young child out of Brooklyn. What is that like for you, you know, bringing someone up in today's management world and music?
You know, I want to be really truthful. It's been difficult, but we have such a strong village that I don't always feel all the weight. I can evenly share it amongst, you know, our small village. That helps with Devyn. You know, like I was saying, I didn't do this by myself. She has such a great team behind her. You know, we've had, you know, working with Natalie for the last 10, 11 years, you know, having people, you know, in our corner, you know, Cheryl, who used to do all of her little tutus when she was little, you know, performing for Wadaka. So it's been a great journey. It's had its ups and downs, but yeah.
Yeah, so now it's had its ups and downs, but I want to say that you're very triumphant, you know, for it to be having its ups and downs and being able to sustain in, you know, since 2011, I want to say, that she's been performing.
Yeah, like 2010. Yeah, 2010. She started when she was 8.
Well, 12 years she's been performing professionally.
Yeah.
That's a huge accomplishment, especially today. And it takes a strong woman to do that, you know. You're from Brooklyn, but I know you live in Brooklyn, but I know you're from Trinidad.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like to, you know, have a mom that's, you know, dedicating her life to my career. Talk about what that's like for you as a mom, like what the business aspect of it as a momager. You know, what can other momagers expect? How should they be? You know, what are things to look out for? Try to help give some insight into that.
I think the first thing in being a momager, and I say this to a lot of, like, you know, single moms that always, you know, come to me and ask me that same question. The first thing is to believe in your child's passion. I think a lot of parents do not, they don't guide their kids into their passion or truly believe like this is something passionate. You know, because kids, you know, Devyn used to go to dance class, and then, you know, she didn't want to go. Then Devyn wanted to do swimming. Then she didn't want to swim. But what she constantly did was music. She constantly was singing. She was constantly writing from at a young age. And then it really just flourished into her passion. And I would tell parents to hone in on that. really concentrate on that. Read up on whatever it is they're passionate about so you can be educated on it. Also make sure that your child is educated on whatever they are passionate about, because that passion is going to drive them. It's going to drive them in school. It's going to drive them with whatever their art is. It's gonna mold them and shape them into a different human being. You wanna be able to cover your kids, and we pray a lot. We pray a lot. It's middle of the night, I'm up, and I pray I plead the blood of Jesus over my babies. I have a son too who's 23. He's also into music. Yes. So, it's very important to just stay focused, be diligent, and know your business, because it's ruthless out here. It is. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I mean, I'm not wrapping it up. I just want to, it's so funny that you said read up on what it is that they want to do, because a lot of the times we know, but as Caribbean parents, we don't really know, because you come here, you come to America, and there's a lot of things that are just different from back home. And the training, the business, the mechanics, the skin, everything is just a little different here.
It is.
What's the difference of working in the U.S. versus working overseas, like in Trinidad, Jamaica, or any other places that you've been in the Caribbean?
I mean, I think education is key. And that goes for anything, whatever it is that you want to do. Education is key, and knowing, all the intricacies of what it is that you're doing.
Yes.
I don't care if you are going to be making a bike. You have to read the directions. Then you need to go on YouTube and look at somebody that did it. You know what I mean? So you could also follow the pattern. And I mean, now in Trinidad, it's just, they're open to so many things, now that we have the internet, amazing. Thank God. So I think people are just definitely more diligent with learning and just, having a higher respect for education. So, and I drill that in my kids. Devyn couldn't get not that she couldn't get a bad grade, but she knew that if she could not keep up with school, she could not do this at all. And I was very serious about that.
Yeah, there's no balance when you're a child. It's like a job.
Yeah.
You choose one or the other.
Exactly. Yeah. But she proved herself. So this is where we are today. Yeah.
Well, you are amazing, and I'm so happy for you. This is a big deal.
It is. We're so excited.
Out in the field, I'm definitely going to show some love.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You guys are from Brooklyn, so I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm Grenadian. I was born in Brooklyn, but my family's Grenadian, so
nice.
I totally understand. I know what it's like. And keep raising that queen to be who she is. I definitely see a bright future ahead of her.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Listen, my opposition is fire. If they tell you that they not, my opposition is liars. Treat myself to play it cool in a position of fire. So much work I had to do that I could never get fired. Bitches toting a Beretta to protect you from your ops, and the way you end up dead is getting murdered by a cop. My little homie came to see me graduate and he got shot. I'm a handful to digest it, well my plate got a lot. And I'm at the top of my living. If we talking about that cloth, I'm at the top of my linen. I'm boiling water for my shower with the pot that I piss in. All the losses that I face, it made me rock on my winning. And that's the way of life. I took my cards and I was dealt, I had to play it right. And I was fighting off these demons while I pray at night. Man, I'm so ready for success, I had to say it twice. And with some people that went left, I had to make it right.
We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. Thank you so much to young Devyn and her fabulous mom for coming and sharing their story with us. We want to send a special shout out to DL Studios for hooking us up today and helping us practicing social distancing at our best. Also want to send a special shout out to Alan Mazel under the Department of Cultural Affairs for funding this project. This is a huge deal for us to, highlight our heritage, our people, and who they are when they're not performing for you guys and having a good time during carnival time.
We also want to thank Ashley Stewart for being a part of this, and me partnering with you guys, and talking all things Artists in Motion. Make sure you guys stay in tune with Ashley Stewart. Text Store Diva to 28789. That's STORE Diva, DIVA, to 28789 to find out when any of our Ashley Stewart stores are opening back up while shelter in place lifts state by state. We also want to make sure that you guys tune into WeAdka on Instagram and Facebook to find out what's going on virtually in the carnival world. I'm your host, Tamara Ivy, with WeAdka, Artists in Motion.